Hey, welcome to Pixel Response. Name's Nathan. Hey, Paul.
Hey. I was holding out to see how long.
Long I'd wait and then have to do that.
Yep.
What do you think of that big football game yesterday, Paul?
The Superb Owl.
The Superb Owl. It was yesterday. Ravens were there. Edgar Allan Poe.
Owls and ravens do not get along.
Is that true?
I have no idea.
I saw a really large raven the other day, and I wouldn't doubt it. They're pretty big, fearsome birds, so...
Nevermore?
Scrap. That is a thing that they say sometimes, I'm told.
That's how they are quothed?
Quothed.
Quothed.
I believe it is, yeah. You didn't care about the football game, did you?
No, fuck. I barely even care about hockey, and I'm Canadian, so...
Okay. I didn't really either, but I was intrigued by two things. One, the website, they did a really cool live stream where you could select from multiple cameras and stuff.
Okay.
Which seems like a good idea, just for broadcast events going forward.
That seems like something you need to do.
Yeah, it's 2013. Like,
yeah.
What are you doing? I don't have a television. Like, I watch on the internet. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, give me my Super Bowl. And it was buffering a lot, though, and there's a lot of weird issues, but at least they're trying. And second, of course, was the power outage, which was hilarious.
Except for that, I had to turn Twitter off because that's all anybody said, and that's like, why does everybody on Twitter all of a sudden care about sports when they don't all year round?
It was the highest rated Super Bowl ever.
It's fucking stupid.
People pretend to care about football one day a year.
Like, if you pretend to care about football, you're a fucking idiot. If you actually like football, totally, whatever.
Okay.
If you're one of these people that needs to be part of the conversation on Twitter because everyone else is talking about it, you're a fucking idiot.
I liked reading the conversation, but
yeah,
just like an ad would play, and then all my favorite video gaming pundits would chime in on what they thought of it or something. Like, and I was just like, okay, I guess I'll check that out later. I don't know, like YouTube or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I watched some commercials today, mostly movie promos and stuff. But
what movie promos?
There was a Fast and Furious 6 one. I don't like whatever. Like, people are like, oh man, that looks the best one ever. The fifth one, I don't know. They teased me better with the fifth one. They take down a plane or something in this trailer.
Great.
In a spectacular manner, so I'm not sure why everyone's flipping out. There was a Star Trek one, Iron Man, World War Z, which still looks pretty stupid.
Yeah.
Lone Ranger, which also looks stupid, but I think looks fun.
Okay, yeah.
So I'll watch that movie. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of accusations of racism, though, with Johnny Depp playing a Native American character.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to happen, right? Because he is doing like some silly affected character type stuff, like Kemosabe and all this.
Well, fuck, apparently if you make a character that talks in Ebonics, you're a racist, so...
Also that. Do you want to talk about that?
Like, maybe. Like, it's a little bit weird that this was even brought up, because you were saying something about it, and I was like, okay, I need context or whatever. I thought this was something maybe on, like, CNN or something. It's like, Anthony Birch, lead writer of Borderlands 2, total fucking racist, and huge headline article or something.
Yeah. I remember, I'm not sure if people are just talking about how much they like Borderlands 2 or something, but I've seen the name Tiny Tina a lot, and I had no idea what that was.
I'm going to go ahead and say I don't like Tiny Tina at all. I think she's the worst character.
Okay. There seems to be a split there. A lot of people think she's kind of great, and some people think she's insufferable and terrible. And I guess you're one of those, which is fine. I haven't played it.
She is insufferable. I think you would agree. Maybe? I don't know, actually. Nope, you're a hard read on stuff like that.
Okay. I think I'd find other things about that game problematic first, but I don't know. But anyway. Okay. Anyway, so I guess there was new DLC out. She was using a lot of rap slang. Specifically, the word badonkadonk was used.
Well, she does that, like, in the main game. She does that sort of thing.
Right. So
you know, her, like, you've been watching some Hey Ash, what you playing and stuff?
A little bit, but not, mostly the podcasts they do occasionally. But.
It's, like, exactly what you expect with, like, Anthony Birch and his sister doing the voice.
Okay.
Anthony Birch writing for her, and then her doing, like, a weird kind of amalgamation of, like, like everything you would see on TV.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool, like the white kid slang sort of thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's that with an annoying voice.
Yeah, but like that's just a thing. Like, quoting rap lyrics facetious, like as in a joking manner, like Jeff Gerstmann being all crazy street in his ad or whatever. Like that's just comedy. Like that's just a thing now.
Let me put it this way: when San Andreas came out, everybody was a buster.
Yeah.
Like, and
saying like people who played it would
like me
for a bit.
Like,
okay,
nigga, you a buster. Like that was a thing that just happened.
Buster.
No, like, yeah, I said buster because like there's much worse things they say in that game that also became part of my language at that point because that game had a weird effect on me where it's like, yeah, everything that's like 90s NWA style is pretty awesome, right? And then people are like, no, you're white. So it's not cool to say that, but I did anyway. So like, by that logic, I am the Admiral Dragon or whatever of the KKK. If video game ebonics make you a racist, I'm the worst person.
If you want to talk about, like, actually it was kind of funny because today one of the Super Bowl commercials that was on there, it was a car commercial.
Yep.
I think it was Volvo or something, or it doesn't really matter. Toyota maybe. There was a bunch of white dudes speaking with Jamaican accents.
Okay. That's a little more racist, I think.
Like, that was the entirety of the joke. Over 8 million views on YouTube, like, barely any dislikes. Like, everyone's like, hell yeah, this is hilarious. So, I guess that's probably racist too. I don't know. But it seemed more crazy and kind of just tone deaf or something than whatever I'm hearing about in relation to Borderlands, because that seems to be in this crazy, exaggerated future world.
Yeah.
Where this is just like, down at the office, suddenly this old white guy is saying, you know, hey, man, and stuff like that. And it's just for jokes.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I don't know. The thing is, the people that seem to be the most upset, they were like white dudes.
It was Michael Sacco.
Yeah, who's that?
That's anybody that, like, Joystick has a subdivision called the WoW Insider.
Mm-hmm.
So World of Warcraft Insider, WoW Insider. They are a website where they do a bunch of like World of Warcraft articles and lore stuff and whatnot. They also do a podcast, a weekly podcast with some other columnists who are really knowledgeable about the lore and origins of stuff in Warcraft and stuff. So people write in and they talk about that whole sort of thing. The host of that is Michael Sacco, or Mike Sacco. Okay. So he hosts that, but he is a guy that works at Cryptozoic Entertainment, and they're best known for their little card games, the trading card games that they do. So they have what is it now? They have like the superhero one. They have a Walking Dead card game. They have I think they do the Penny Arcade card game, and like they do a World of Warcraft card game, which I know he is a huge part of because of his involvement in WoW Insider and stuff like that. So he is quite literally in like industry standards. Like if we were talking about journalism, he is a nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm not saying you and I are anybody, but he is a dude with an opinion that works at a card game that does a podcast for like people that like World of Warcraft.
Okay.
Like he is not like Larry King. He is not somebody whose opinion is like normally like seeked out.
Mm-hmm.
So when I found out he was the one that started all of this, I was just like, oh, that's really weird. Apparently Kotaku wrote about it though, which is why it got
that's the story I'm looking at. I also just kind of was like, was this a low traffic story that I just like stumbled into somehow? It's got over 100,000 page hits or whatever, which that seems like somewhat significant. It's just a summary of the Twitter exchange, basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just weird, kind of, I don't know, it seems like an old conversation. Like, it's just like, what, really? Like, still? I thought we were past that. I thought, you know, clearly everybody's buying, you know, these rap albums. Kanye West, Drake, perhaps, those guys.
Yeah.
You know? Like, you can, it's just culture now. That's just the popular language. You can use it. It's fine.
Right.
But I guess part of my issue was also just like Anthony Birch kind of like folding on it, like just being like, oh really? Oh crap, I'm sorry. Like, you know, like he
it's that thing that bothered you before. It's just like self-depreciating nature.
Yeah, like he's not like Quentin Tarantino does something controversial, he'll at least even embarrassingly so stand by it. Like it's just like no, it's not, and I hate that you would imply as such. Whereas this is like kind of spineless. Like it's just like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you guys. I won't do it next time. Okay, I promise.
Well,
I'll
and
change it.
it's kind of weird
Like, what?
because
Why? It's your thing. Like, I don't know.
you made a great point on Twitter too, where you were just like, find it odd that some dialogue is disturbing folks more than shooting people with an acid gun for laughs.
Like in the same game, like it's just like this is already like you're right. Like Borderlands 2 might be problematic in some way, but like this is number 12 on the bullet list. Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. Like,
right, but like I think everybody understands that Borderlands is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like even if there was blatant outright racism, where like they call your main character like a nigger or something, or like if there was complete like sexual, what's the word? Like,
objectification or whatever.
Objectification. There it is.
Arguably might be. Like I don't know.
No, I meant bigotry. Like if they called you like a faggot or something. Okay. Like it's still based in a world that is so outlandishly like terrible.
Yeah.
That do you take it seriously? I don't know why you're taking a character seriously.
But I mean, it is kind of a dystopic Mad Max future or something. So
right.
You like there should be some generosity, maybe. Like I still feel video games in general are way too delighted with that kind of not thinking about violence and whatever. But
well, in Borderlands 2, there is specifically like a quest where one of the characters had like sexual relations or something, and they have pictures of it, and you have to kill the people with those pictures, like to get the pictures back or whatever. You have to kill a bunch of people and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like
we were talking about San Andreas. I remember there was also one where you're trying to get rid of a witness for some case or something, and you bury him in concrete alive.
Yeah,
like that
was in San Fierro, one of the first missions there, I think.
If given the option, I would have not done that. It was kind of like, oh man, this is a mission? Okay. Felt weird, but...
Feels weird, bro.
Video games have been asking you to do pretty terrible stuff for a while. And yeah, the main issue here was this kind of somewhat trivial thing. Like, just like weird accusations. Like, it's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. A lot of my white friends talk like that all the time. The reply, well, I got some bad news about your friends. They're horribly racist, basically, was like some of the exchange.
It was so stupid.
Edition. So, whatever. Mountain out of a molehill. Sorry for really even bringing it up. But
they're still going, actually. I'm just checking Anthony's Twitter right now, and there's still messages back and forth. So, I'd like stay tuned for that.
I guess also just it seems to be this thing that happens where like someone gets offended on behalf of some imagined other person. Like it's just like that's probably really offensive to somebody. Probably you're just like, oh, okay, like are you really the party that is fit to make that appraisal? No, but like I've heard about racism, and this is probably racism.
And there's like black people defending Anthony too. They're just like, no, that's just like there's a comment I'm looking at right now where someone's like, again, I'm black. It is Black Slain. We created it. Now it's for everyone. I want the game, so thanks. Just like
I have seen a few comments that are like, okay, I'm black. This is fine. Like that's like, okay.
I'm black and this is my favorite game on the Citadel or something.
That kind of stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, I'll take your word for it. I don't know internet username whether or not that is true, but I don't know. It's not. It just seems. Why is this a big thing? You're right. It must have been a slow news day. Let's stop talking about it. Let's just move on.
Let's stop talking about racism.
Well, yeah. No, that sounds. Just like let's just put this issue under the rug.
Yeah, let's just brush it under the rug there and keep going.
No,
racism is not a topic that we should talk about in public discourse.
You're right. Sorry, that's not the implication I meant to make. It's more just like this specific example seems
because it's a non-issue, just straight.
Yeah, this seems like a bit of a non-issue. I don't know. Football happened. Stallone's new movie came out.
I didn't see it,
which no one saw, so that's fine. Yeah,
including
it was like,
you.
No, I did see it.
Okay.
So that was slightly hyperbolic. Me and like $6 million worth of other people saw it.
Okay.
It debuted pretty poorly, worse than Last Stand apparently, even box office wise.
Damn. Okay. So the tattoos were not enough to get people in the seat.
I guess not. Nor the return to the big screen of Christian Slater.
Oh right.
He's in this movie, which I did not know really until the credits were happening, and he's like fifth billed or something. I was like, oh, what? That's amazing. And then he's like a scumbag villainy guy. Not the main villain though. That was Jason Momoa, pretty much. No. I guess the main guy was the dude who played Mr. Echo in Lost.
Okay.
Yep. I cannot pronounce that dude's name. I apologize.
Yeah.
Like, it popped up on screen. It's like, I don't know what that is. It has like 40 syllables. That's like, oh, that's a guy from Lost. Oh, okay. Cool. No offense, sir. Like, he's a fun guy, but I just don't. Yeah. Anyway.
That dude is kind of scary looking.
Yeah, he's intense.
I like him.
Yeah, he's cool. In this one, though, he's got like 2 canes. He can barely walk, so he's doing a weak thing, you know? Jason Momoa is the muscle. And he was the Conan in that terrible Conan movie. The remake or whatever.
I never saw the remake. I have it on my computer.
It's bad though. It's like the best part is like 20 minutes in the movie or something when Ron Perlman like is holding up a blood-covered baby on the battlefield yelling at the sky or something.
Yeah.
Like that's the best part that happens.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Everything after that though, like the action scenes are just shaky cam. Like I think it's Marcus Nispel, like the guy who did the Friday the 13th remake.
Yeah.
And it's just like the worst shot action scenes ever. It's just zoomed in and shaking. You can't see what's happening. Like there's a sea monster or something, but you don't get to really see it or appreciate it because we're so tight in on the action.
Great.
Yeah. In this movie, he just shoots like everybody. Like he just blasts away.
Just everybody.
He walks it. Like there was a part of that movie that was just like that was basically what Hotline Miami is. Like he just goes into a bar. There's like 9 dudes and just shoots them all. And I was just like, wow, like that movie is violent. Like this was a violent movie. This is Walter Hill, the 48 Hours guy.
Yeah.
Like if you think back to that movie, like for a comedy, that is a weirdly violent movie. Like the bad guys they're dealing with are no nonsense, like R-rated action movie bad guys. Same thing here, and like I don't know, it just got me thinking about guns in a weird way. I think me playing receiver probably informed some of what my thoughts were going.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know, man. Guns are crazy. Like they're such a, like I'm gonna say it. They're a cowardly way to go about it. That's a cowardly way to kill a person. That's, you know, if you can't beat them with your hands, you're not a man. So
yeah,
you know,
probably.
I put that out there. Yeah, it's just like him casually killing people, and then it ends with an axe fight though, which, you know, I guess that's more manly in some way.
Yeah.
But kind of cheat that too. Actually, no, the way the movie ends, kind of whatever. It's a buddy action movie. Like it is a relic from the 80s, really, in a lot of ways. It's like an old way of doing this kind of movie, and that was kind of fine for me. I was just like, all right, I haven't seen one like this in a while. But it's completely inconsequential. It does not matter. In the least. It's 90 minutes. Stallone has a lot of dialogue, so if you're into that, you know, you get to hear him speak quite a bit, and you can understand what he's saying. But, yeah, I don't know. Did you play Receiver?
I did. Yes.
How do you feel about the way it's toying with guns?
I love it. I love the way they're toying. Like, it's really bad. If we're gonna if we're gonna look at it as a technical demo of things, of good ideas that could be implemented in a solid game.
Yeah.
Totally. If we're looking at a game, it's barely a game. Like it's barely playable. Like, I don't know. The best part of it is the whole gun play or whatever, making sure you like reload, you take the safety off and that whole sort of thing. But when you're actually holding the gun, it's too floaty. Mm-hmm. And there's just other weird like problems with it in that regard. But yeah, the gunplay stuff is absolutely phenomenal. I think it would make more of an impact maybe if, like, say the next Call of Duty, there's always the ending or whatever where you're on like your last breath and the bad guy you've been going after this whole time is walking towards you slowly.
Yeah.
It might have more tension if like you picked up a gun, you had to check to make sure there was a bullet in it, then slam the thing back in. cock it back, take the safety off, then aim and shoot.
Right, but not in contrast to the rest of the game where they simplify that. Like, that would be weird.
Yeah.
Like,
no, like
that's the thing, though.
There should be a thing, maybe like a game like that, where you have to worry about gun convention.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a thing. Like in the actual army, they have to teach people how to properly take care of and use their weaponry.
Right.
It's not just like you pick a gun up on the battlefield and it automatically works and does not blow up in your face.
Here's the thing, though. Like, it definitely it was weird. Like, playing it, it was like, wow, this is kind of how guns should be modeled if you're going for realism.
Yeah.
But then it was like, thinking about it, it's just like, you need to have like the best reason in the world to do that, though, because you are effectively
teaching someone how
to shoot people.
Yes.
You know? So it's like, you need a really good like narrative, like moral center or something to your game. Like they've abstracted it in this one because it's just robots and like turrets and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's how they kind of cheese around it. Like they just kind of sidestep the whole thing by being like, whatever. It's just a dumb sci-fi thing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But the minute you're like shooting people, it's just like, wow, this is kind of weird. Like if it's gonna be in the same way like other things are, it's gonna have a lot tougher time explaining itself. You know, like it is desensitizing people to guns and making them more accustomed to guns.
Yeah.
In a way that could go really, really badly. Because, yeah, as I was sitting there watching Bullet to the Head, I was just like, if I was ever to make a game about guns, it would have to be realistic. I should go to the firing range. And then I was just like, I would hate being in a firing range. Like, I'm just scared. Like, guns weird me out. Like, in real life
now... Have you never
now,
shot a gun?
I have. Like, I grew up on a farm, and we would, shoot a bunch. But then, at some point, after we'd moved to the city for a few years, and I went to this, like, retreat, and I was firing shotguns, and I just got really uncomfortable. And I don't know what happened between then. Maybe it was video games. Maybe it was just more movies. Like, whatever it was. Like, I just got really kind of... I don't trust myself around them. It's just kind of like...
I kind of like guns.
Okay.
I like the engineering and stuff. I like that whole sort of thing. And I like the idea that you're controlling an explosion.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of weaponry, and like I've been shooting a couple times and stuff... Like, I love it, but yeah. I am not a person that could probably shoot another person. I don't think.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's just like, there's so much danger just inherent in those machines to me. Like, it's like, if something goes wrong, like, you could misfire, ricochet, or something even. I don't know. Like, I don't feel safe.
You get that, like, shaky feeling in your core when you're, like, know that you have to pick up a gun. Or something.
Yeah, there's like a bit of there's some internal kind of like nausea or something happening. It's weird. It's not like I don't think I feel physically sick. It's more just like I get really preoccupied with how bad it could go.
Okay.
And it just makes me just feel like really nervous or whatever. So I don't know. Like it was like definitely a weird thing where it was just like I don't think I should think about making a game with guns or something ever. Like maybe like. I've been writing down more and more ideas, like, for stuff, but it's just like, I think I'm going to make a period piece or something. Go back before those were invented, and then it'll be safe.
I don't think the days where, like, you could get stabbed by a sword are any cooler.
I find something more, like, that's fair, that's more fair. I don't know why. Like, it's just like, I think it's because, like, guns even the playing field, like, a really weak person could just shoot anyone.
Yeah.
Whereas something about, like, physical...
You have to have upper body strength to hold this sword and swing it hard enough to actually hurt somebody.
And you'll still feel bad if you take down a weakling, because it's, like, not a challenge, so you've cheated, but, like, an even matched fight is a cool thing. Like, karateka or something has just fighting dudes, like, kung fu men fighting each other.
Right.
And it's, like, even playing field, it's totally fair. You were better, you were worse, kind of thing. And I don't know. Like, I guess also, like, I saw 2001: A Space Odyssey this week, and that opens with the ape kind of segment.
Yeah.
And, like, there's a scene where, like, the newly equipped ape troop shows up with their bone clubs.
Yeah.
And there's this little kind of standoff and fight and stuff, and I was like, yeah, that's how it was. That's legit. That's nature. That's fine.
Well, dude, even in school, Like, kids have to worry about being shot in a fucking bathroom in school these days. Like, what? I don't know how it was for necessarily you, but if we had problems at school, there'd be a fight after school at the bike racks, and that was it. It was done.
Like punching, though, right?
Yeah, like a fist fight. Like, a bunch of people would crowd around, and inevitably one of the people wouldn't show up. So the fight wouldn't actually happen, and then they'd get teased a little bit, but everybody would forget about it. Or in the worst case scenario, everybody showed up, and then it turned into a weird gangbang where everybody was just punching each other in the face because adrenaline. And then kids would go home with like bleeding noses, maybe sore eyes at the worst or whatever, but they still lived another day. They didn't have to worry about being shot in the fucking back of the head while taking a piss at a urinal.
Yeah, that's like... I'm relating all this to movies, so that's like American History X. That's shit. That's stupid.
It's disgusting. Yeah.
There was, not a lot of schoolyard scrapping in my private school bubble, but there was a
You
bit.
felt dirty saying that, didn't you?
Yeah, those Christian schools, man. They're something.
No, the private school part.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of disdain for yourself.
Well, yeah, it's like I missed part of humanity or something. Like I didn't engage. It wasn't my fault. I had no choice.
You didn't eat the dirt.
Yeah, I didn't eat the dirt. I didn't, perhaps I'm less of a man because of it.
But dude, on the plus side, you didn't eat the dirt.
Yeah, I didn't get punched or anything really.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, something about like fisticuffs. Like in every action movie too. That's the thing. Like, the two guys will square off and they're just like, no, bullshit, and then they take off their gun belts and then
Expendables too.
Yeah, like that's the way it's supposed to go. Or like samurai sword fights or something. Like it's like, all right, let's stand here and have a little duel,
It does feel cleansing. I don't think shooting another person would feel cleansing. I think it would feel really toxic.
Yeah, Barry Lyndon kind of has duels, like gun duels.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like there's something lame about that. Like it's like I think that's probably why that was like the last expression of the legal fight or something. Was just like, this is terrible. Like, it's just people shooting each other at like 30 feet away. We got to stop this. This is now illegal.
Yeah.
Don't do that anymore. Like it's just because like it goes
it's not
so badly.
Even badass.
There's nothing badass about it. Yeah, it's like it's two dudes in like white wigs, kind of standing there in like prim, proper suits, and it's just like, what are you guys doing? Like, you're wearing, these high society clothes, but you're like the most savage people here. It's just weird.
No,
that's probably what he was going for in that movie. It's a weird, long movie, but it has things in it that are of note.
I do feel like a bit of a hypocrite though, because there is something really pleasurable and like exhilarating in the video games where you're playing as a sniper.
Yeah.
You get that headshot from like the hill that's a couple miles away.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but it feels like such a kind of like a sucker punch, Like
it
I ran up and punched him in the back of the head. You didn't even see it.
It is 100% a sucker punch, but at the same time, it's almost like a weird sport because you're aiming at this little dot or whatever. The only other side of that is that somebody's life is now gone.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a weird dichotomy.
No, Far Cry 2 for me definitely had some of those. Like, there's an assassination mission, and it's just like crack, and I got him, headshot. It's just weird. It was like a weird sensation again. And then I ran off into the forest, and then that was it. I succeeded.
It's kind of weird you bring that up. There's assassination missions in Far Cry 3.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of sniping stuff I was seeing with the co-op campaign and stuff too.
No, with the assassination missions, you have to fight them one-on-one.
Oh, okay.
Like the one target, you can kill everyone else with a sniper rifle, whatever. Mm-hmm. But the way you have to kill your target is you have to stab them with your knife.
Oh, weird. Okay.
So like you can either stealthily
is that where the QTEs and stuff come in that people talk about, or
no? This is where like you either have to stealthily go up and do your like takedown move or whatever and get him that way, or you can kill everybody and just like basically slash until they die. It doesn't matter. The thing is they have to die by a knife.
Okay.
So like it's kind of weird that you bring up the assassination thing, because I thought that was kind of cool that they force you to do this assassination with a knife every time. There's a couple of those in Far Cry 3, but yeah. I don't remember Far Cry 2's assassination stuff.
Oh no, it's just one of many story missions, but like a guy's giving a speech, and yeah, and there's a specific bolt action rifle that has like it's gross, like it's in video game world, like this is a thing people say a lot, and I've said it before. It's really satisfying, and I don't know why.
Yeah,
you know, it's got like just the sound and like the reloading and everything. It's just perfect, but it's a gun. You're shooting people, like it's just weird.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely like every now and then there's a game that's just like you're the biggest hypocrite in the world, Nathan. Far Cry 2 and Hotline Miami. What are you talking about? It's like I know. Art. I don't know.
But then in Far Cry 3, there are parts where you have to kill a shark with a bow and arrow.
Right,
and you can't use the bow and arrow in the water. So it is like
high art then.
Like maybe
like Rambo.
It's irritating. I'll give it that. What's less irritating is killing like a golden tiger or whatever they called it, having to use a bow and arrow, because then when that fucker knows that you're there, that tiger is coming after you, and you have to kill it for that mission with the bow and arrow. So you are fucked. You are not empowered at all in that situation. As soon as he sees you, it's over.
I'm actually like I'm more like optimistic that there could be things I'll get out of Far Cry 3 since they've added. Can you take out the HUD stuff on the console versions too, or no?
See, I'm at the point now where I'm done every hunting mission.
Okay.
Like the big ones, I have everything built or whatever. So anything I would want to skin now, I get nothing for doing it. So there's no more pleasure in that for me because there's no carrot at the end of the stick for me anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm now at the point where I'm actually doing stuff with like humans more. I'm on this last island. I have to do nothing but story missions. I have to do like taking over the bases, the strongholds and whatnot. So I don't want the HUD elements off because I just want to get through it as quickly as possible now. I'm not taking my time anymore. So I think it's ruined for me at this point. The parts I wanted the HUD off for were the parts where I was stalking like this giant fucking cassowary bird or whatever that can peck your eyes out if it comes near you. That's what I wanted everything off for. But now I just want to get through these stupid ass story missions. I want the mini-map to just show me the best way to get there. Because I don't care anymore about the game.
Well, all right. Like,
like if you were playing it for sure, like just taking your time going through it and whatnot, definitely, I would probably recommend just turning the HUD off if you can. I don't even know because I don't care.
That's the thing. Like, I'm not sure with the talk I've been hearing if that is a mod for the PC version or if that's just stuff they've patched in, like to turn off the constant updates about where you should go and what you should do. Or whatever, and like, I'm probably gonna turn the music off. I did that in Far Cry 2 as well, though. Like, I didn't especially find the need for there to be music in that game, so I just turned it off.
Yeah, there isn't a need in this one either.
So I'll probably do the stuff like that, like kind of find something I can get into in that. Like the main stuff, is the ecosystem stuff. That sounds interesting. Like interacting with crazy animals on a island somewhere. You know.
You remember the Giant Bomb end of the year talks where they're talking about like, oh, dude, the part where you're burning the pot plants or whatever is the best part of that game.
Yeah.
That's the worst part of that game. It's everything I hate about video games all wrapped into one. It had Skrillex, it had Rastafarianism, it had killing people for no reason, and it had weed.
Yeah.
Like, everything that's bad about video games was in that area there. Except for the fire physics are great still. So that's okay.
And plus, isn't it basically that mission from San Andreas?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, this isn't even the first pot-burning mission I've seen in a thing. Like,
it's the first one with Skrillex, though.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, the first one was Skrillex.
I've really started questioning a lot of how I feel about their...
priorities or something?
They're, like, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. My priority with them now is just to, like, view them as entertainment like I would a TV show. It's not because I think they know what they're doing anymore.
Okay.
I know those are kind of like throwing down the gauntlet words, but
no, like I mean, they they do a lot more. Like they quick look a lot of stuff. They review very few. So
yeah, they're like really good Let's Players.
Yeah, like it's just like, hey, what's Kentucky Route Zero all about? I watched that. I'm kind of interested in it now. You know, they're not going to review that game, but whatever. That's
Yeah.
fine. I don't need like Patrick's verdict on it. It's more just like, thanks for showing me that. Now, I'll look into it.
Right.
That's fine. That's totally valuable. But yeah, every time a like rated review comes out, it's I find myself disagreeing with it quite often.
It's eyebrow raising to say the least every time.
Yeah, it also just I don't know how I feel about like different sites have very different review criteria, and then for them all to kind of be lumped together.
That's good though.
I guess.
There's a quick look of Receiver.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh,
I haven't watched it, but I saw that there was one.
Okay.
Which, yeah. I don't know if you know this, but they also listen to Idle Thumbs. At least some of them there. So I'm assuming that was part of it.
Yeah, probably.
Those guys seem to be on the front lines of like interesting things.
I haven't listened to Idle Thumbs in 2 weeks now.
Okay.
Catch up.
They talked about Receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been internet talk about it too.
Right. If we want to briefly go back to that, like you were saying, like it's not a good game. Like it doesn't seem finished. Like it seems really
That's why. Yeah.
audacious for them to just be like, yeah, that thing we threw together at that game jam, it's on Greenlight. And you're just like, are you serious? Like, why would you vote for that? Like, it's doing an interesting thing, but you're not done. You've only started.
I'm a little annoyed that I paid $5 for it.
I'm a bit too. Like, it was like, this is a really interesting experiment. It's like, I want to see it, so I'll pay you, but I don't know.
I think it would have been different if it was a Kickstarter. I paid them $20 and they gave me that little demos. Like, this is the basis. Prototype,
you know, and we're trying to make this interesting. And you're just like, oh, okay. Because, yeah, like, I messed around with it once. I kind of wish there was just a firing range so I could practice there.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to sneak around in this dumb place. I'm told there is comedic value in finding the tapes because it's so bad.
Okay.
But I haven't actually found any yet.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Like, I've successfully shot a turret, like, once or twice, and that was kind of cool. Like, it was just like, wow, I actually lined up a shot and hit it. That's actually a bit of a feat in this game, which is shooting. Like, that should be... That's kind of cool, but... Yeah, beyond that, I'm not too invested in what's going on with the plot line or whatever.
If we're talking about indie games here...
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously, if you're listening to this, you know that we're big into indie games, and... I mean, there's indie shit all over the fucking site, you know, but I
don't know if shit is...
No, not shit. That's my way of saying stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
No, it's all valuable content, and you should be listening to everything we do. But
that's all right.
when we're talking about indie stuff, like I just want to get back to this idea. I don't like this idea that indie devs have been like some, not all. They go to a game jam, and then they throw that up for money. That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
I can't go to a previous day job, do half of it, and say pay me.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking bullshit. Like, yeah. I think they need to be called out. I think people are being too easy on indie developers lately because they're big in the spotlight, and stuff like Receiver is absolutely ridiculous when there's great stuff out there like Cart Life that you can get for free and have a full experience, or you could pay a little bit more and get a little bit more.
$5, in fact.
And it's such high fidelity. Everything Richard Hoffmeyer has done in that game, he's put time into, to the point, like we were just talking to him, that he doesn't feel it's even done. Like, he could work on it forever. That's the type of person you want to give money to. You don't want to give money to a person that threw something together in a day with a bunch of random people, and they're trying to get a buck from it.
Yeah, it seems a little like they're jumping... sorry, I'm not going to even finish that. They are... Crap, I don't have any...
They are crap?
No, jumping the gun was the phrase I was going to say.
Oh...
Boom, yeah,
boom, boom, boom.
I know, but I mean, just like they're skipping ahead in the process. Like, they're like, all right, like step 1, make a thing in a game jam. Step 2, profit. And you're just like, no,
that's not
what?
It. Yeah,
that you're missing some. You have to make more of this thing. You can't just throw this out there. What are you doing?
We talked to the Default Dan guys.
Yeah,
like they even polished up their prototype, and it's free. Right.
Kyle Pulver does the same thing where, like, he'll come up with an idea to game jam and then work on it.
Yeah.
You know?
And then if anything, like, you can play it for free, and then that's a good demo to see if the finished product will be something you're even into.
Mm-hmm. But it jump starts into making bigger things, like not just
Yes.
That's it. We're done, right? It's like, no, you've only started working. Like, sorry to break it to you, but you gotta do some more stuff.
You gotta buy me a drink before you take me home.
Mm-hmm.
Receiver.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we went drinking.
We did.
I figured we should maybe be
Burt
a little
Reynolds is quality beverage.
We gotta be a little more lighthearted, I think. So yeah, Burt Reynolds.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe better than the actor it's named after? Maybe.
Smoother, which is
yeah.
wait, that's a big
more consistently enjoyable. Yeah. Also. So, I don't know. I'm going to say if you're into a schnapps and whatnot, maybe check that out.
Like, I don't know, the way I equated it to Aaron on the way home was that, those cinnamon hearts?
Yeah.
It's like that aftertaste of a cinnamon heart with butterscotch pudding, kind of.
And the butterscotch really helps, because I don't love cinnamon hearts.
Yes,
absolutely. But yeah, that smooth, nice beginning to it really makes it work out. So.
And it's not like a spicy cinnamon hearts thing. It smooths it out, for sure.
No, yeah. That was a nice little thing. Dangerously so, perhaps, but I don't think schnapps is that bad, right? So you're going to get wasted immediately.
And we were out celebrating our friend's birthday.
Yes.
Shout out to Mark, MD7 on the 4 Idiots, for anybody that keeps up with Awful Gamer videos.
Yeah, I was about to say he's one of the 4. So probably the quietest one.
Maybe, but I'm going to arguably say the funniest when he does say something.
So, quality over quantity in effect.
He's like the sniper that lays in wait, and then when someone is open, he takes the shot.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So timing and all that subtlety.
Yeah. So it's actually his birthday tomorrow from when we're recording this, so.
Yeah, this was on Groundhog Day when we were out celebrating, which I was hoping was the actual day, because that would be fantastic, but unfortunately, no.
That was a pretty good night. I'm glad you guys were able to make it out. I didn't know if we were even going to be able to, because it's
Airdrie.
Yeah, we
for those that don't live here, that's like a neighboring town.
Yeah,
even in the city,
we had to drive out of the city to go to this.
Yeah, not too far, but it was still a bit of a kind of a weird thing. Like, especially because we just signed on late. Like, it's just like, hey, do you want to go to this? Oh, okay. Where is it, Airdrie?
Yeah, to be fair, we didn't even leave when I messaged you, so.
Yeah, so that was fine. That ended up being like us eating out a lot that day, but whatever. That's fine. That happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, birthdays.
And we talked about video games, I guess, for a little bit.
Talked about some video games. We talked about Indie House, which I listened to that podcast.
Yeah.
The Infinite Ammo one.
Infinite Ammo, Alec, yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot of issues with Valve games, which I thought was kind of neat to hear, because
I haven't listened to that yet. Now I'm interested. A lot of people
just love Valve unconditionally, and they're just like, all right, I like that first Left 4 Dead. Second one, though, kind of screwed it up. And then I'm like, oh, really? Why?
By adding too many special infected?
They go down a list of kind of stuff. And also Valve kind of curbing the edges and making things more just like, this is more fun for more people. Yeah. So we're going to make it like that. And you're just like, yeah, but it could be really competitive if you did this. It's like, nope, we're not going to do that.
Oh, see, I don't even care about competitive anything.
Yeah.
So that's not a thing I would ever
type of discussion. I'm like, oh, I don't play multiplayer games like that. But it was interesting to hear.
That's cool. No, I do want to listen to that now.
Yeah. I don't know. It was a neat kind of thing. And then also, I guess Erin Robinson, I believe her name was, she is working on Gravity Ghost, and she did the video that kicked off the Game Jam. So now I know who that person is.
Awesome.
Like, oh, that's part of the Indie House. Interesting. So yeah, that's in Phoenix.
Yeah.
They're big Game Jam fans too. They were talking about that and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I like those guys quite a bit.
Yeah. There's a possibility we'll be talking to people in that podcast eventually. So.
Yeah, we got a few things lined up, so stay tuned, I guess.
I'm going to say a lot, maybe too many things? I don't know.
To the point where, we've been doing them bi-monthly every 2 weeks. It might have to be weekly.
But the thing with that is then, there will never be a let-up, and then I'll go crazy. Because here's the thing. I'm happy to talk to anybody ever, but thing is, like I got school and other things going on, and it was just like, oh man, I feel like I'm gonna let Paul down. He's gonna be working so hard on the site, and I'm just gonna like be like, I gotta go. Like I have things, so I apologize in advance if something happens. I might be busy.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Like no, live on the site,
and we might have Indie House Calgary. So
discussions began, but it was deemed there was too much alcohol in the room for them to be
specifically in my system.
Yeah,
because I think I was the only one out of everybody that was talking about it that was intoxicated.
Oh, okay, yeah, I had only had iced tea up to that point, so no. Those is pre-Burt Reynolds.
That coffee's really good. Shout out to Brewster's and Airdrie for their coffee.
I guess, yeah, like, I don't drink coffee black pretty much ever, because, I don't know, it's just like, well, it's bitter. And
when you get a good black coffee, that's when you can tell.
That one was smooth, and it did not have the sad kind of crap at the end where there's like grinds in it or any of that kind of business you put up with at cheaper coffee places. It was just like, no, it's solid. That was good. You were right. I've definitely had much worse coffees in my time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, typically I'll mask them with cream and sugar anyway. But I did not that time to see what you guys were talking about. And yeah, all right, maybe I'll try it that way for a little while. But then at some point, I'm assuming I'll run into a bad coffee, and then I'll try to salvage it with sugar. And that's what you do. That's how you get by. That's why people like McDonald's, I'm just going to say.
Yeah, for sure.
Or Tim Hortons, even. Double-doubles. That's how that works out.
I'm going to go ahead and say we're cutting this short, this podcast, because things have come up. We were a little bit busy a little earlier today.
Mm-hmm. And as I've just said in relation to like upcoming stuff, like there's school and whatnot going on, so
right,
it is not the best. But I don't know, any like last highlights stuff. Was there any stuff you did this week or?
Yeah, like we're going to be talking to quite a few people. I've been playing their games, and one of the games I actually picked up for the first time was Aquaria, and I tried that out.
Ooh, okay.
I'm not going to get too into detail because I don't know yet. It's a game that does not hold your hand, which is usually a thing I like quite a bit, and I do love it, but it's one of those games also that like I need help to get through this part, and then like I finally got through it, and then I was tired for the night.
Okay.
But I did feel accomplished once I found out and figured it's by no means hard. I was probably playing it way too late. Time's no longer a thing since I've been unemployed, so I was playing it like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And just stuff like that. I mean, you know how it is. So, yeah, I don't know. It's really pretty. It's very, very pretty.
Okay.
So that is a huge plus. It's basically like a Metroid type. I want to say Metroidvania, but it's not like Castlevania at all. It's very much just Metroid, where you're just going around.
I was thinking Super Metroid, but by the way you're describing the difficulty, like maybe the first Metroid?
More like Metroid 2.
I love Metroid 2.
Because you know how Metroid 2 is just like, this is what you're doing, go?
Yeah.
That's this. Where it's like, so it's like, oh, there's this whole other part, but like you obviously don't have the power yet to get through here, which is fine. But like you can see that this is just like a thing here. Like there's rocks blocking some paths or whatever. One of the first powers you get that is the ability to like bind whatever to an object and move it with you.
Yeah.
So like as soon as you get that, you've opened up like another 50% of the game sort of thing, right? So like it's one of those games where you don't need like this specific type of missile to get through here or anything. It's like, no, you just need this thing that'll open up a whole bunch of other stuff too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know, really fluid the way they did it. The music's fantastic. It's really nice looking, very pretty.
Does it capture how kind of scary the ocean is?
So far, yes, and I haven't gotten to scary.
There was stuff in the trailer where it's like deep sea fish and just like weird underground caves or underwater caves, and it's just like
I'm terrified of that stuff. So when it gets to that part, I might actually have to get somebody else to play, and I'll watch that. I am serious. I'm claustrophobic.
Yeah.
So the idea of being in complete darkness with like these things that people don't even see ever, that's terrifying. It's
almost like aliens on our planet.
I can't, just talking about it right now, I'm starting to get a little flustered. Like it's bothering me.
Yeah. No, I've definitely been curious about this game in light of listening to Mr. Holmoka's podcasts.
Yes, Homoka. Alec Homoka.
Alec. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Derek Yu.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, we're not discounting him at all.
No. Right. That's true. I just he's on the podcast more often. So.
And then also there's I Get This Call Every Day. I started playing. That's the game where the dude lost his job because of it.
And Canada Revenue Agency. So Canada, represent.
Canada represent, exactly. I've been playing a lot of Jason Rohrer's games, so if you don't know who that is, maybe just look his name up and try one of his multiple games. I'm not going to go through all of them, like Sleep is Death or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I did start looking into some Xbox Live indie games, which you seem to have a firm handle on in terms of what's out there. You recommended a bunch of stuff. I only picked up 2.
Yeah, at the time, because I haven't actually had Xbox for a while, so I'm probably behind on that.
Okay, that whole scene, but yeah, it's kind of embarrassing because like you guys had been talking about it for quite some time, John and you specifically, but
Jonathan Hawkins and the 1,000 Spikes.
Yeah, Jonathan Blow said Aben Hawkins and 1,000 Spikes was good, so that got my attention.
You're kind of a jerk.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know why he's so impressed by this level design, but okay. And then I was like, you know what? It's $1. It's $1.
Yeah.
Paul says it's fine, so I'll check that out too.
Yeah.
So I got that, and I legitimately just from playing at your house did enjoy a Scapegoat, so I got that.
Scapegoat's great.
I played through most of it at your house, but I'm totally fine just going through it again. It's kind of neat puzzles and a nice, just goofy, lighthearted thing. There's a mouse with a hat.
Yeah. I like it quite a bit.
I was picking up some demos and stuff too, like City Tuesday, which I think has a great look, but
a decent concept.
Yeah, I just don't know what to like. The actual act of doing things, I got kind of annoyed with almost immediately.
Yeah,
but it has some good ideas.
It's a puzzle game. You're using a bomb. Well, you're finding a bomb to defuse it, rather.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Which I thought it was like you have X amount of time to find the thing, and it was going to be a bigger deal to find it. But it was like, no, there's a bunch of them, and you have to go get it. And you're like, oh, okay. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of games I've been looking to. I beat that Zelda game, but you don't really like that one. So
yeah. I just want to say the day of recording this, it's Monday, February 4th. If you're in the Calgary area, you should probably, it'll be past. I'm going to see if I can get an upload of it somehow or put it on the site. Our friends, the guys at Crunch there, they did an interview with CTV, the news station here. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to that.
That'll probably be on the internet too.
I hope so. Like if it's on the internet, great. If not, I'm actually PVRing it, so I'll be able to.
Put it on the internet and help us all.
Exactly. So in some way, I'm going to try to get it up or whatever, but. Yeah, big shout out to those guys, and congratulations on everything that you've accomplished so far. It's great.
Yeah, and that's launching this month, so there you go.
I think that's all I have to say.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, Proteus?
Oh, great! I did play Proteus.
I haven't beaten quote unquote it yet.
Yeah, so I don't want to. I didn't know that could happen.
I didn't either. Okay. So, you know what? We're going to put a pin in that one.
Yeah.
And we will revisit it once we have, quote-unquote, beaten it.
Right. Even then, I don't really want to get into any of what happens because it was such a neat thing to discover that there was anything to that game beyond a cool island. So...
It's a beautiful game.
It's a neat music experience and everything, and I don't know. There's some cool stuff going on there. I don't know how much of it was just like I've found it, like I spent more time with it, or when they went 1.0 or whatever and put it on Steam and everything, that it's finished now and there's more to it. Because I played the beta some months ago, but this was more impressive. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we're maybe being a little disingenuous because there is stuff to talk about, but we're going to let it rest a little bit. We'll let people... You know what? Go ahead, play Proteus if you're listening to this.
Yeah, it's a cool island that has music, and you can hang out, and
actually send us emails and stuff. tell us what your experience was like with Proteus and stuff, and when we talk about it, maybe we'll throw that in there because I'd like to hear what other people think of it. I could see it being polarizing as fuck.
I guess the big question right now is, again, people are like, oh, is this even a video game? I don't know. Like, it doesn't have...
You know what? And I might, like, I don't know where I stand on the argument either. I haven't decided.
Yeah, like, I mean, we've made similar arguments about other things, but I think...
It feels more like, yeah, I don't know. We could get in a whole conversation about this, basically.
Yeah, unless you interact with it, nothing happens, so...
There is nothing unless you are moving and interacting in a way with everything around you. So, in a way, I don't know. But yeah.
But I guess you could turn it on and let it sit there, and it would just be there, but, I mean, that's true of anything.
You can sit down and just watch stuff happen.
Yeah, there's a sit button.
Yes.
So, you know.
It's pretty good.
Did you have any little thoughts on the call game, the call center thing, beyond just that it is a thing?
It is the Kobayashi Maru. You won't win. Like, no matter what, you're either being bitched at by the little piece of shit 10-year-old kid or whatever that you're talking to. You'll get fired, or like he'll get in a little like fucking asshole thing at the end before you hang up. Like, no matter what, you feel like shit, and it's the unwinnable situation. I was talking a little bit to David Gallant, is the guy who created it, on Twitter, and he's like, that's the point of it, because like, you don't always win in life and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird because he was working at the Canada Revenue Agency, and my father was working at Revenue Canada as well. So there's this weird kind of thing going on there. But yeah, I don't know. More than anything, and this sounds really bad, but I found it more like a charity case. Like, I was like, you know what? I'll give this guy $2 because
he's trying to do creative things instead. I like that.
And like everything else on his site is free. So like, he has a bunch of little flash games and stuff like that, and this is kind of like, hey, if you give me $2 for, getting fired for doing this thing that I love to do because I went for it or whatever, you'll get this. And I was like, it's totally worth it, whatever. So I gave him, you can give him, like, the minimum is $2. I gave him like 10, I think. But like, help a brother out. Yeah.
It's the feel-good story of the year? I don't know.
No. I don't know. Like, I don't know if you could even call that a game either. Like, if you can't call The Walking Dead a game, this is much less a game.
Oh. No, that's fine.
Yeah. You know how it is. But, yeah, so that's it for us, I think, this week, because I know, Nathan, you got to get going to school, and I got to get ready for the Muse concert tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! Muse.
There you go. The new album that Paul wrote about. What's up?
Yeah, they'll probably be playing quite a bit of that. But as always, you can get us an email at podcast@pixelresponse or pixel-response.com. I should be more specific. Facebook is facebook.com/thepixelresponse. So contact us that way, or just follow us and stuff will go up accordingly on that. On Twitter, it's at @pixel_response. You can get me at Exposure, EXFAUXSURE. You can get Nathan at Krasnor, KRAZNOR. Listen to us on Stitcher. Give us the thumbs up. It helps a lot. Also, send us reviews and all that sort of thing on iTunes if you want to do that. I know we've been having troubles with the RSS feed this last week particularly. Bear with me. I apologize, and thank you for your patience. I'm working on that. Also, the live podcast will continue. They didn't today because obviously we're doing this kind of last minute, just trying to get it into our busy schedule this week. But live podcast will from now on be at pixel-response.com, the main site, /live. There is also a button on the site that when we are live will light up and be live, and you can click on that and join in. Only registered members of Pixel Response will be able to chat in the chat room, but everybody can listen, so that's not an issue, so go ahead and do that. But as always, go to pixel-response.com for more from all of us, including Matt, who I think is reviewing something else this week, but I'm not sure.
Is it Bullets Ahead or no?
I don't know. I have to get back to him on
Warm Bodies.
Like, I want to know about Warm Bodies, but I don't know if he was into seeing it. I think he said he was going to see it no matter what.
Okay.
So
I was like, I don't think this looks funny, but people say it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I trust them because they didn't like things I like. I don't know.
I'm going to go ahead and say I wholeheartedly agree with a lot of stuff that Matt has put out so far. Like his opinions and stuff. He seems to have a good head on his shoulders and back up stuff, even if I don't necessarily agree with some of his opinions. He backs it up for other people, which is great. So we're really lucky to have him on board. But yeah, I think that's it for us this week. So we'll see you guys next time.